What did you learn about being an entrepreneur versus being an employee?
It's amazing if you view it properly. For you need to figure out what you want your life to be first, and then try to fit what you do around that. That's the most important thing for me. Is that I got to be at every one of my daughter's gymnastic meets, every one of my son's, baseball games, football games.
Welcome to Henderson HQ. This is the podcast where you get all the stories behind the businesses that make our community tick. Don't forget to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Hey everyone, Scott Groves, Henderson HQ podcast and newsletter. Today we're talking to Allie and Tony, the owners of Me Gusta Tacos in the district in Green Valley. One of my favorite places to eat when I need some quick, good shrimp burritos or fajita burritos is the new thing that I have to try. We talked to Tony and Allie about growing up in the service business here in Las Vegas, how that skill set transferred over to being a business owner or restaurateur, how their first franchise restaurant didn't work out so well, and how they just believe the better option these days is to buy an existing business and then build from there. Also talked a lot about having a great staff, how you find them, how you train them, how you invest in them. So whether you want to be a restaurateur or you just want to work in a customer service related business or be a customer service owner of a business, this is going to be a great podcast for you. And they're a lot of fun with a lot of cool stories. Hope you enjoy. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Scott Groves with the Henderson HQ podcast and newsletter. I'm here with my new friends, Allie and Tony, who are the owners of Me Gusta Taco. And it's funny because we were doing a little Instagram giveaway. Whoever does your marketing, I don't know if that's you.
Me.
Okay, it was great because we were doing a little giveaway for some money to build subscribership on the Instagram. And I happened to be eating at a restaurant right across the corridor. And I get this Instagram message like, hey, come by. We'd love to be on your Instagram or we'd love to be on the newsletter and we'll give you some free tacos. And I'm kind of like a glutton for food, so I will do anything for free tacos. So we got to know each other. And then I love the community event that you just held with the big car show. Like, I want to talk about that, how you guys are using community events to build patrons and people that come in for tacos. But I'm a sucker for tacos. I'm like, I've never talked to somebody that owns a taco stand. So thank you for being here. Me Gusta Tacos in Henderson. Tell us the story of how you guys became the owner of Me Gusta Tacos.
You go ahead, Tom.
Okay. How long of a version do you want?
However long you want to give us, right?
Okay. We had a restaurant before in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was called Tacon.
Okay.
Sounds like a taco shop, right?
Right.
It was not.
Whoops.
Yeah. It was paninis, salads, wraps, great food. Let's just say we didn't do very well.
Okay.
We ended up back in Las Vegas. We have another business. And we hit the point that a lot of people do in our aged demographic that your kids grow up a little bit, right? We had another business doing okay, and I was bored.
That's usually how these things.
Yeah. So I was bored, and we talked about, hey, let's get a second income. So I started doing research on different businesses and stumbled upon a restaurant, even knowing what I knew from the time before. But it was in the district, which we love the district. We know the previous owner, my wife, actually, Allie, my wife, she's right here. She worked with him back at the Palms in, late 90s, early 2000s. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
You're at trouble tonight, buddy.
So they had worked together. So I called Chris, and his name's Chris Connors. We had a long conversation and we explored it a little bit more and said, we love the district. We love the food. We love the concept. We just loved the community and decided, hey, let's jump in.
Yeah. Get a little redo from before.
Yes. How long ago did you buy it?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
May of 2023.
And, it's so funny. We just interviewed a great business broker in Henderson. Actually, he's one of the top in the nation here in Henderson, but does businesses all over. And we talked specifically about restaurants, right? Like what a high failure rate they are. And I asked him, I said, in my mind, if a business is for sale, it means it's failing because, frankly, if I had a business that was a cash cow or was spinning off residual income, why would you ever get rid of that? And he's like, no, you don't understand. People want to retire.
Yeah.
People, buy businesses for they want to cash out. People buy businesses for their kids and their kids get bored. So when you took over the business, was it failing? No offense to the previous
No,
owner, or
no.
was it?
It wasn't actually. So they opened up a bakery up in St. George. It was called Farmstead. It's now called Bonru, and they wanted to open up more of them. So they didn't have as much time, and they wanted more capital to open more. So they decided to sell Me Gusta.
Nice. You don't have to give me any specific numbers, but one of the things I was talking about with Trent is like multiples, right? Like tech companies get these huge multiples. I'm guessing restaurants probably only sell for like 1 or 2 times profit or income or something like that. Is that kind of right on top with what you guys paid?
Yeah. I mean, there's variables, there's a lot of variables, the lease, the location, just a lot, the brand awareness. So you can have a higher multiple on a different restaurant, say versus an independent smaller place. So they're all a little different, but yes, that's the ballpark.
So I think when most people think of like tacos, they think probably of their favorite local taco spot. And then they think Del Taco, Taco Bell, stuff like that. What made you guys want to buy an independent place that was just yours versus a franchise? Like, have you guys had any experience with a franchise or heard some horror stories, or what made you want to own your own place?
Tacone was a franchise. It was actually in the district where Rachel's Kitchen is. That was Tacone previous to Rachel's Kitchen.
Okay.
So yes, we have owned a franchise.
And you did not want to get back in bed with a franchise, I'm guessing?
There are great things about franchises. Walking in day one and having the systems in place to follow, having the concept 100% developed for you. And then there's some things that if you're, a little bit of a control freak and like to change things on the fly,
Yeah.
franchises don't like that.
Right.
There's a whole process, and I don't know. That's not for me.
Not for you.
We've changed a lot in the restaurant. I liked the bones of the restaurant. And it's been an interesting process because when you have a business that is successful, you don't want to mess with it too much, right?
Okay.
That's the smart business guy. That's not me. My wife will agree. But I saw it as an opportunity to try to create something that I saw. And, it's hard. You do business as well. You're in business. I apologize. And you put yourself out there and you're like, hey man, like me,
Right.
that's really what you're saying. And I really enjoy that process. Like I really enjoy that.
Nice. What are some changes that you've made that were wildly successful, and what are some that have like fallen flat on their face?
I mean,
good question.
the album wall people love.
Yes.
The decor, number one. So when you came in originally, and I'm sorry, I'm very long-winded. And she already has a sign to tap me when I'm going too long.
This is the thing we want to hear about. Like this is the real stuff with local businesses that
we bought the place, and on the wall it was Me Gusta Tacos, make simple better. Sounds fantastic, right? Like every restaurant has their own little catch line and what they're about. Hopefully it's descriptive enough that when you read it, you know what the business is about. And I hate it. I don't know why. I do. I do.
It's fair.
My vision was a funky little taco joint that you remember. And we've been in the hospitality industry for a very long time. And we've been to, we've all been to many places, and I wanted it to be something that you go in, right? You have a wonderful experience. The music's on point. The food's fantastic. The staff there are amazing. Everybody does that, right? Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
And
especially in Vegas, like table stakes for a restaurant out here.
Yeah.
It's like bad restaurants don't make it
Right.
because there's so much competition.
But that's what we should be striving. But then it's to take it just a little bit further, right? Like create an environment that people are going to remember, that they want to go back because they had a great experience. And, that's what we've strived for. So we changed the decor. It's now no longer simple. It's very,
It was white walls.
Yeah.
It's much more eclectic.
yeah.
Much more.
So which one of you is the 90s grunge rock fan?
That would be him.
Yeah.
Okay. So we must be about the same age because when I sit there with my 9-year-old son and I'm like, let me tell you about when I bought that album. And let me tell you about when I saw Pearl Jam in concert. And let me tell you about, and I just went through all the albums and he could care less.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like a certain level of nostalgia where I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
I still have all my dad's old records that one day I'm going to frame all of those and put them up on a wall somewhere. Cause like he's got, the first run of Cream and then the first run of like Creedence Clearwater Revival from the 60s and 70s. And like that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
I think people that don't care, they're just not going to care. But people that care, that's really memorable, right? Like if I didn't remember the name of your place, I'd be like, yeah, the taco place with all the albums on the wall.
Exactly. And it's not a marketing ploy. Honestly, it's a place that I want to go into. I like to go in there, right? I mean, you walk in and you're like, oh man, I remember that, and if you don't like music, cool. The other side's pretty funny.
Yeah.
There's a dude riding a chili.
There is a Chewbacca sitting on a toilet.
Exactly.
And that's, of course, where my 9-year-old went. He's like, Dad, look at that. And I'm like, what? There's a lot of pictures on the wall. What are you looking at? He's like, Star Wars, Chewbacca on a toilet. I never thought of Chewbacca using the shitter. And I was like, first of all, don't say shitter, say toilet. And I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty witty. Like I like that type of stuff.
Yeah. And sorry.
Well, he has definitely made it his place. Like everything in there really just screams him. He's got Eagles stuff up, Philadelphia sports stuff up, all his favorite albums and things that he thinks are funny. And he doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He likes it.
But I do care, but not in the sense of like, it's just here I am, and if you like it, cool. Let's hang out. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about sports. Let's laugh at what's on the wall. And if that's not your thing, cool. There's Philberto's down the road. There's still Taco Bell.
Yeah.
There's lots of places you can go, but I don't know if you'll ever get to that point, but we met at the Hard Rock Hotel. I started working there in 96 and worked there for about 10 years. And the vibe there, if you grew up here, if anyone that lives here, that was here in that era, you'll remember it. Like they'll right away be like, oh, I remember hanging out at the sidebar. Man, did you work at the center bar? And yeah. And for us, it was just such a memorable experience. And the things like you talk about 90s grunge, we were exposed to so many artists and people that in kind of our formative years, I was mid-20s, she was early 20s. And it just created such a visceral memory of like what it's like to go to a place. I mean, we loved working there.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was like to go there. It's different when you're on the inside and you're having a blast. And she worked at Rain nightclub as well. And I mean, she has stories. And we both have stories, whatever. She worked at Babies. But we still talk about them with people. We still run into people we worked with 25 years ago.
Well, two things. One, we're going to have to end the podcast because you're an Eagles fan. Because my middle name is Lambert. My family's from Pittsburgh, named after the world famous Jack Lambert, the best linebacker to ever play.
Different conferences.
Yeah, it's close enough. But that's funny. I did notice the Eagles stuff. And then I will tell you, I came because I grew up in LA and my uncle lived up here. So I was up in Vegas every couple months, sometimes once a month. And to this day, the cigar lounge at the Hard Rock Cafe was like my favorite place in Vegas because we always looked like bums. We looked homeless basically because I would come up here with a bunch of pro poker
You still do,
Still do.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. I still look like a bum. And we would go to the cigar lounge there and we would be smoking all day after like a long poker session. And we would literally look homeless, but we tipped really well. And everybody else is like dressed to the nines. And I'll tell you something after the podcast ends. That's a pretty funny story about the Hard Rock that's like seared in my brain, but not appropriate for this podcast venue. But I'll tell you about that after we leave. But yeah, you are definitely creating the same type of vibe there. So what was most important for you to keep so that the existing clientele kept coming back?
Wow. That's a great question because
I would say the food quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was when you're doing your due diligence, because we didn't start the concept. But when you're taking it over, you want to make sure that you keep the customers you currently have. You want to amplify what they were doing right. And then if you have creative ideas, do it on your own. So it was always in the reviews, staff and food. And just, we had such a good time. So-and-so was fantastic. the food was amazing. I never thought of a taco like that. So it was really just those were the two core things, the food and the people.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the staff, right? Because I've heard in Vegas, we're actually in the interview process right now for a new executive assistant. And I've heard that staff can be a double-edged sword. It's like there's a lot to pick from, but this is a pretty transitory community, like keeping talent. There's always another job in the service industry. You know, I imagine, you know, you can't pay at a taco place what you would pay at a steakhouse. So how are you like finding people, training people, retaining people? Because I do notice everybody that's in there, when I go in there, it's like a smile. It feels very like Chick-fil-A-ish that people are happy. So I'm guessing you hire happy people. But how do you find staff and how do you retain them in this crazy town where there's a million food service jobs?
We did have a little bit of trouble when we first took over. We used Indeed. We got some rough ones. Mainly, I would say most of our staff now is recommendations from people that we know. Almost all.
Yeah, or our staff.
For our staff is like, oh, I have a friend that I think I can only think of one that works there that's from Indeed, I think.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, just through other people. It's better that way.
It's crazy. Like with all the tech out there and AI that can scrub resumes and stuff, so much stuff still comes from like personal introductions.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. There's no way that anyone would ever be hired without me personally approving them. Like, even as, you know, the goal for us is to grow, you know, is to scale. We're not talking about anything larger than the Vegas Valley, but you have to have great people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very important to me that the people we have are great. You know, we're all different. And that my great is different than someone else's great, but yeah, they have to have that I'm telling you, the rock and roll kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's the fans of Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, like all the things.
Yeah, they could not like Pearl Jam. Alice in Chains for sure.
But I don't like Alice in Chains, by the way.
Yeah,
we get kicked out of the podcast.
Right? So it's funny, like she has about 4 or 5 bands of mine that she's like hitting sass forward. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I've had some people on the podcast and I've talked to a lot of business owners and I've coached a lot of business owners who sell a product or a widget or a service, or like a professional service. I can't really even conceptualize what it takes to market a restaurant, right? It's like, we could put you in the newsletter, you can have a cool Instagram, that type of stuff, but like getting bodies in the door, I've read some stats on this, thinking about coaching restaurateurs of like, you know, you get 90% of your people that live within 2 miles and, you know, then it's like these radius circles. How do you market for a taco stand?
We were hoping you knew. I mean, shit, you conceptualized it. Let's, I don't know. What do you got? I don't know, to be honest. I might be one of the, what's the right adjective? The dumbest business owners he's ever met. Like, I like personal, you know, and unfortunately for me, it means that we don't do a lot of the traditional stuff, a lot of the print, the events that hopefully we're going to talk about at some point that we put on is really what I viewed as our biggest marketing, to date. We just want to be part of the community. We want people to, from the moment they step in, they have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's how we try to market is, you know, yes, we need to be out there with ads and yes, we need to be doing podcasts and all this other stuff, but it's really about capturing the interaction each and every day, because it doesn't matter if I get you in the door and the food isn't that good or the staff wasn't that good or, you know, the vibe of the restaurant wasn't good. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
No,
probably not.
So that to me is the marketing, and it's the little things, man. I love kids, and we're right in front of a splash pad. I mean, you've been there.
Yeah.
We used to take our
kids.
It's
a great location, by the way.
We used to take our kids to the splash pad when they were little. And I just remember, and this is a big thing for me. I'm shocked you haven't tapped me on the leg that I'm talking too much.
No, you're fine. It's good.
But we love that area. We love the kids that come in, and anybody that treats my kids good, like, you've won me over.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're treating kids good, it's something different for me, especially mine. So my staff, and they know this, and they were 1,000,000% on board with it because it's the type of people they are. We have stickers right by the register, and every kid that comes in, hey man, you know, or kid, whatever. right? Hey, buddy, you want a sticker? No, it's, hey, do you like stickers? And a lot of kids are bashful and they're shy and they're in a place that they don't know. But if you ask a kid normally, like, hey, do you like stickers? It's not, do you want one? It's not, what's your name? And they'll usually say, yeah. And they want to look at them, and it's just something to kind of break the ice. And we have kids, and when you take kids to a restaurant, it's a battle sometimes, man.
Yeah.
But if you can say, hey, we're going to Me Gusta, and they're going to take care of you, and that's just, I don't know. That's my marketing. Sorry.
By the way, my kid is not bashful. I think he cleaned you out of all your stickers one time. The girl was like, hey, kid, you like stickers? She's like, well, I was already looking at these. How many can I take? So I don't know, as many as you want. And I was like, Gabriel, take 2 and like get your hands off because he's got sticky fingers.
Oh, it's funny how the parents get so embarrassed. It's like they're 2 cents each, man. Let your kid take 5. Let them enjoy it. Stick them on a water.
Whatever makes them happy.
Yes, exactly.
Allie, tell me about like some of the community events that you're doing. Because when I showed up for the car show, I saw all of your kids in pink shirts, and my buddy who I was with, he's like, I wonder what the pink shirts. I'm like, I can guarantee you that's Me Gusta Tacos. Having just corresponded with them a little bit on Instagram and knowing that they're hosting this event, that's their brand. That's what they're trying to put out. I guarantee you they hired all these frat boys to come talk about tacos and get people in there buying, what did I have? I had the shrimp burrito. I was recommended the shrimp burrito by one of the kids in pink. I was like, hey, what's your favorite dish? And he's like, oh, dude, get the shrimp burrito. So can you tell us a little bit about how you're conceptualizing those community events and then kind of how that all went off? Because it looked like a very big undertaking.
It was. And I want to give Tony a lot of credit for that. It was his idea to do the car show. He loves classic cars. He has one. He approached the district and asked if we could do it. And they gave us the go ahead. And our big thing with that was we were raising money for the Las Vegas breast cancer warriors, and that's what the pink t-shirts were. I love that you called them frat boys. So our son plays baseball at CSN, and that was the CSN baseball team. They were putting in community service hours to help us out with the event. And yes, I mean, it was very noticeable having a bunch of athletes walking around in bright pink.
Yeah, it didn't hurt that they were all good looking.
I know, adorable boys. I mean, it was just something that we really wanted to put on like a block party for the community, a free event. We were giving away free chips and salsa, just something fun to bring people out. And I just feel like there's, not a lot of that in our area sometimes. Things cost money more so, and you could just come out and enjoy yourself and have a good time.
How long did the logistics take on that? Because I know even if you're in that classic car world, like getting the people to show up and getting them to showcase their cars, and then there was a bunch of booth there, and there was a couple other food trucks there. The Flamingo something snow cone gal, loved her and her husband, got a video with them.
Ooh, they were amazing. So we met them in the Smart and Final parking lot.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, they had their, not that, it was just Aaron. It was just Aaron. I think he was getting ice maybe.
He was?
Yeah. And we saw his truck, and Tony was like, stop the car. And he jumped out of the car and was like, hey, would you like to be part of our event? It took him, I would say, months. Is it okay for me to say that it was not easy for you at first to get the cars? Is that all right?
Yeah. I mean, about 10 days before we had 4 people registered.
He was so worried. We had 43 spots that we wanted to fill. And I remember it was Monday, you only had 15 registered, and he was really stressed out. And he was going to multiple car shows for a couple months ahead of time. He was going to Cars and Coffee every Saturday. And a lot of people just weren't receptive, which is strange. We weren't charging to be in it. We just wanted to make it a great event. And then it all came together that week. He was having to turn people away. It was really strange. Like, what happened?
Yeah, we ended up with like 50 cars.
Yeah, we were right back there 43. There was a 57 Bel Air. There was like a 72 Bronco. That car was my favorite because I love classic Broncos. There was like a 54 Apache Ford truck. Like my kids love cars. My stepdad has like a 1940s classic truck, so they've been to a lot of car shows, and we went to the one on Water Street. Yeah. So it was perfect for them, right? We went and saw a movie, we did the car show, came over to you guys to have some tacos, and it was a great event. And what's cool is like when you guys did that, I think it even creates a lot of goodwill amongst the other businesses because they must have got a ton of foot traffic for a random Saturday afternoon, right?
The other businesses were great too. They all donated to our raffle, and they were really excited and so nice about it. So I just want to make sure and say that.
That's awesome. Do you mind if I ask how much money you raised for the breast cancer?
We are still tabulating it.
Know yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be over 5,000 for sure.
That's awesome.
We'll probably be somewhere between 5 and 10,000.
That's great.
We're really excited.
Yeah.
Very cool.
This event became so much bigger than we ever imagined, and I'm just super proud of everybody that was involved. Our staff, the vendors, the guys that showed up with their car, the band, Avenue B.
A lot of fun.
They play out at Jack's Place in Boulder City. So if you ever want to see them, look them up online. Avenue B. They're amazing.
Great guys.
Yeah, and it's just everything. Like she said, it really came together, and it was a great event.
That's super cool. Most importantly, what classic car do you have?
I have a 1966 Pontiac Le Mans convertible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it like a lowrider style?
No. I mean, it sits low, but it doesn't have any kind of bags or anything like that to lower it down. No.
As soon as you open Me Gusta Tacos number 2, 3, and 4, maybe you'll get a bouncing lowrider.
There was one there. I think it was a 64 Impala.
That was a gorgeous car. Embarrassingly, my 9-year-old is like addicted to like rap videos now, which bad parenting on my part. And every time we go somewhere, Dad, we can see like a bouncing car. And I'm like, oh,
wait, what rap? I mean, is he listening to like 2 Live?
Like
is it 3 Live Crew? I mean, what are we looking in here?
Really bad.
You know,
Will
Smith. I mean,
no, I had to send him to his room the other day. And he has an Alexa in his room. So my wife's like, hey, go in Gabriel's room. And I'm like, why? He's got sent to his room. He's like, go in Gabriel's room. And he's in the middle of his room listening to 50 Cent's Mini Men, like swaying back and forth like he's in prison. And I'm like, hey, buddy, did I send you in here to like do some time? And he's like, Mom always gets mad at me. And I'm like, see, doing bullshit. That's what it's pretty much. He's like, he's freaking out.
Have his wife beat her on.
Yeah, 100%. He was just like, I was like, this is not prison. We just sent you to your room for an hour. But he's a very good kid. I shouldn't talk so badly about him. He's going to watch this one day. But so he really likes the bouncing cars, as he calls them. So you mentioned like growth, like well, first of all, let's back up one step. You guys own a whole nother business, which you're welcome to talk about, of course. But when I think of like, when I think of like starting a second business, I'm thinking like, oh, something that's going to run itself, something that's like mailbox money, maybe something that plugs into my existing business.
Yeah.
And you decided to pick a business where you guys kind of have to be there all the time and like growing the personalities and growing the patronage. Like, why'd you pick a second job that like probably takes as much, if not more time than your first job?
Yes, Tony, please tell us.
I told you, I might be the dumbest businessman you've ever met. I literally used to tell people like 2.5 years, 4 or 5 years ago. And we would tell them, hey, we owned a restaurant before. And they'd say, oh, what was that like? And I say, okay, let's do this. Give me all your money. Let me kick you in the nuts. And that's a better experience than owning a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's
Kid doesn't learn, does he, Allie?
Right? No, I'm stubborn.
When he came to me and he was like, can you call Chris and see if this is his that's up for sale? I was like, what are you talking? No, we're not doing that.
So there's a big difference. You know, you obviously learned from the first time. And I would probably, me personally, would never build a restaurant again.
Right.
It was from the ground up, literally bare bones shell, whole TI, everything. And by the time we got to opening, I wasn't ready. Yeah, honestly, I was 30, 31 years old.
31.
Yeah. I wasn't ready. I thought I was, but I wasn't. And this time around, the due diligence was different. We wanted an existing business. We wanted something in the community.
You didn't have $250,000 of like kitchen build out and crazy shit like that.
No, right. But I mean, look, the cost of buying a restaurant is less than doing all of that stuff, but it's not that much less.
Right.
So it's still a significant investment, but you also already have brand awareness. You already have current customers, so you've already got something going versus we were a brand new franchise in a new market, which the name Tacon did not represent what it was. Everybody thought we were tacos, ironically.
Right.
So you're hitting a brand new market in a franchise no one's ever heard of.
Right.
And that's the part that I wasn't ready for. Look, if we would have opened a Cane's, in Scottsdale, we wouldn't be talking because I'd be retired already.
Right.
It's just making sure the second time around that what we were doing made sense.
Yeah. I mean, this seems to be like a big thing I see on YouTube with like financial influencers. They're like, dude, building a business from scratch is for the birds.
Yeah.
Like some type of, initial cash flow in a business that's already there, and then you can put your twist on it and you can build it, and then you can build a second one and a third one, but like get the model down first with somebody that's already kind of done the growing pains.
Right.
And even Trent Lee, who was on that Business Broker, he's like, oh yeah, you never want to open a Subway. You want to be like the second or third owner of a Subway where they've already eaten the tenant improvement cost. They've already built everything out. That stuff selling, used restaurant equipment is much cheaper than buying it new. And so, yeah, it's interesting. You're like the third person in here within a couple of weeks that's like, yeah, just find a business that's got good bones and then put your own spin on it and just grow that.
Yeah.
So what's next? You mentioned, we don't want to go outside of the Valley, but it sounds like maybe there's an idea for location number 2 or 3.
Yeah, there's definitely areas that we've thought about in the Valley. If our son has expressed interest at some point in coming aboard, when he's done with whatever, he's going to do. And if, sky's the limit if that happens.
Right.
Personally, I don't think more than a couple. But
let's say Allie.
I agree. One is a lot.
Yeah.
It really becomes about us having the ability to build a team.
Right.
And if we can build the team and the system to do it, and we can create that atmosphere 100 times, let's do it. I'm all for it. So that's really on us.
Yeah.
It's this initial one to see, okay, does this work? Do people want this? And I hope they do, because that's when we go to San Diego, there's certain spots we're going to go to because we like that. We don't want to go to Rubio's,
right?
Or Baja Fresh, and those are all great restaurants too. I'm not knocking anyone,
right?
But I like going up and looking on the menu board and wow, man, who thought about putting that in there?
Yeah,
like who the hell names a bowl Bruce Leroy?
Yes,
like what's wrong with this guy? But there's thought in it. We do give a crap.
Yeah,
this was like, hey man, this is fantastic. I want to share this with other people. Like, try this, man. This is really good. And hey, by the way, it's from a movie from the 80s that most people don't know. And it's outstanding.
Allie, you worked in entertainment food services here in Vegas. I think a lot of people that hopefully are watching maybe want to start their own business. And they're like, I have core experience in this world. And now I'm just going to own a business in that world. Over the last 10, 15 years, what's been most interesting to you as an entrepreneur versus like an employee? Because it is a totally different world. So what have you learned about being like the owner and signing the front of the check instead of just signing the back of the check?
I don't let her touch the check. Get out of here with that.
This is actually a tough question for me because I am definitely not a boss type personality. That really does fall on him. I could never be the one to fire people, or I have trouble even telling people what to do. So honestly, that's more of a question for you.
What have you learned about being an entrepreneur versus being an employee?
It's amazing if you view it properly. For you need to figure out what you want your life to be first, and then try to fit what you do around that. And that's only recently that I've really realized how amazing the other business we had and the lives that we've had. She got to stay at home with our children. And that's why I say know what you want, because when we got married, we said, if it's at all financially possible, because for a lot of people it's not.
Right.
But if it's financially possible, we want to have kids that have a mom at home. It's just so important.
Yeah.
And
to us,
for sure. And a lot of people can't afford that. And
right. Totally.
We were very fortunate that we were able to. So to me, that is business. That's the most important thing for me. Yeah. Is that I got to be at every one of my daughter's gymnastic meets, every one of my son's, baseball games, football games, every one of my daughter's music recitals. Like, no matter what it wasn't, I got to put in for time off. And I we used to work in the casino, and you have stuff you want to do, and you have to submit, your PT or what was it? Time off request, whatever. Yeah, for your PTO. And sometimes it would be the 4th of July, or it would be New Year's Eve, and you can't.
Right.
Somebody's getting married. Well, sorry, CES is in town and we need you.
Right.
So that's what business has given to us. And we're very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and I'm like, hey, the good news about owning a business is you can do whatever you want. The bad news is you can do whatever you want. It's like nobody's telling you to get to work to grow the business unless you are motivated to do it yourself.
Exactly.
So true.
You know, it's funny. I had a similar story when my wife had our son. She worked in nonprofits, and nonprofits probably pay worse than owning a restaurant. And she went back to work for a couple of weeks, and then I'll never forget. She called me one day and she's like, "Hey, how much money do you make?" And I'm like, well, it's probably something you should know as my wife, right? But she just could care less about the finances. And I'm like, we do fine. And she's like, fine enough for me to not go back to work because this being away from my kid thing, I'm not really feeling this and I don't make a lot of money here. And I'm like, you give them your 2 weeks so that you feel good about yourself. But yeah, we were also very fortunate that we were in a season of life and business in the mortgage industry where she could afford to stay home. And you know, it's really sad because I know every time somebody talks about this, they're like qualifier of like, hey, we get not everybody can do it and whatnot, which is true. And I totally understand that. But, you know, there were certain cuts that we had to make and certain priorities where it's like, my wife still has a little bit in her head, like, oh, well, the only way to, you know, contribute to the family is monetarily. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like our kids aren't going to be serial killers. What's the value of that? Like if we had to wait a couple of years to buy a new car or we can't get a new cell phone every year, like who cares? Like I'd rather have you at home. So like there's a sacrifice there. And I think some people can't make that sacrifice and some people just aren't willing to do it. So I you know, if you can figure it out, I think it's like a great blessing to have mom home with the kids or dad home with the kids.
I loved it. I feel so grateful that I was able to.
And on that note, like she didn't just take care of the house. I mean, that's the other great part, you know, about being an entrepreneur is like, if you need help, you know, it ain't like when I was working a job, you can't be like, hey, honey, I'm really busy today. You want to come down with me and help me do whatever? No, you can't do that. But if, you know, the business is picking up and like, you're like, I can't handle all of this on my own. I need some help or, you know, look, we all have times where we need to take a little break. You know, and she provides that for me. You know, any support that I need, she's there. Like, it's not even a question, you know, and hopefully I reciprocate, you know, both ways. It doesn't, all the traditional, whatever, like, we just do well together. And, you know, entrepreneurship for a husband and wife team that love one another and love being around one another, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I can think of in the mortgage industry, a lot of regulation, a lot of federal this, a lot of continuing education. I'm like, but that probably has nothing on the regulations surrounding food and restaurants. So give us like the best and worst of owning a restaurant in Henderson as far as like regulation, dealing with the city, stuff like that. What's been easier than you expect and what's been like, oh, this was kind of a pain in the ass to get this checklist signed off or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, the build out that we did in Scottsdale was different because we had to have checklists, but buying one, I mean, honestly, if you're doing the right thing, you usually don't have a lot to worry about.
Awesome.
You know, if you're worried about the health district coming in and checking your restaurant, probably don't want to eat there. You know, like, hey,
you probably shouldn't be open.
Come in. Here's our labels. Here's how we wash.
We don't worry about it. They'll come anytime.
Yeah.
It's not even a concern.
But you shouldn't be worried about being checked up on because, all right, here's the rules. All right, I'll play by those. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and we can still put on a great product. I mean, no, we've had the city of Henderson is phenomenal to work with, by the way.
Dude, I have heard this over and over again.
Yeah.
That like the city is very pro business. Yeah. You know, I came from Los Angeles, which was maybe the number one anti-business place in America. So I've heard all these horror stories of like, yeah, the fire inspectors talking to the food inspector. They have different regulations. I don't know what to do. You know, they're having to rip things out and rebuild them, rip things out and rebuild them. So like that was my frame of reference for like building a service business. And I mean, I've talked to dozens of people that are like, dude, Henderson is one of the easiest places I've ever been to open a business and like be in compliance.
Yeah, I mean, you can call the business office and they'll help you, and they'll point in actually the area that you get your license and all of your permits. It's all one area, and you literally go from one window to the next. And if you have a question, oh, you'll need this, you'll need that. Okay,
yeah.
I mean, just follow instructions. They make it very, very easy for you, and they're great.
That's awesome. How beneficial has it been being at the district and getting the foot traffic versus, you know, being in a strip mall somewhere where you kind of have to make the restaurant a destination? Like, do you get a lot of first time customers that just happen to walk by and want a taco?
We definitely do. Yes. We love being in there. We love the district. Obviously we love when they hold events. That's lots of foot traffic for us. And just, we hear all the time, like, oh, we didn't even know that there was a taco shop in here. So it's great exposure for us just to be there.
How do you get repeat people? Like, do you get emails or give out
coupons
or anything like that?
Give me your address. Hey, I haven't seen you in like 3 days. I got to pay for my kids, college.
We do have coupons. We have a loyalty program. We have email marketing campaigns. Anything else? I hope that they just love the food and they would.
Yeah, it's really cool when you get someone that comes in as like, I come to Vegas once a year and this is one of the spots I got to go to.
We love sharing that.
Or you have a local that will come in and they'll be like, my mom and dad are in from wherever. I wanted to bring them here so they could try this. And you're just like, what? Like, thank you. Like, that's amazing.
It's a good sign when my wife will drive past 9 taco shops on the way to your place.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, we just passed 9 taco shops. She's like, yeah, but I want that shrimp burrito. And I'm like, all right, fair. So that's
the fajita burrito. She likes the shrimp burrito. The shrimp fajita burrito.
Okay.
I'm doing the fajita burrito. So good. It's so
Love
good.
that one.
What are I want to talk to you a little bit about the staff, Allie. Like, what are you doing to keep like the energy up, hire good people? Like, I mean, I know that's part of your secret sauce. That was one of the first things you said is like staff and food. That's what we have to keep well. So like, how are you training people, or do they train themselves if they have the right attitude, or what do you guys do for that?
I honestly think that we tend to hire people that we can see we want friendly. Like when we interview, the first thing we say is like, it is really important to us, the customer experience. So we want them walking in and we want big smiles and welcome, say hi to everybody.
But not in a canned, the type of person that enjoys welcoming someone in the door.
Yeah.
And it's a different person. Look, my demeanor's different, but when someone is coming into your establishment and look, not for nothing, that person is telling you with their wallet, like, hey, I like you. I want to come to your business. And, if our employees know, like, that person is paying your bills, like, at the end of the day, treat them good. They're going to keep coming back. That's what we want. As a business, you should want customers that are happy. And, if you can get that to your employees and let them, buy in and understand that, and we just talk to our employees, and it's really important. It's part of the interview process. Our restaurant, what do you like about other places? What do you like about the staff? What do you like about the menu? The whole experience. Okay. If you have a good meal, that's a fantastic experience. When you walk away thinking that was worth it, I had a really good time, I want to go back, right? That's a great night. We all work very, very hard. Everyone, right? And if you're going to spend your hard-earned money and go to a restaurant, you should get that experience. You should feel like, wow, man, they took care of me. Like, their food's good. They are attentive to me. They ask me questions if I need it. They take away my food. They talk to me. I mean, look, we're all the digital age and all of this, but there's something about that personal interaction, that somebody recommends. Oh, you don't like spicy? We'll try this. Or you do like spicy? Take the El Diablo or the Chupacabra bowl. Like, that is the stuff that gets me going. I don't know. Was that even the question?
No, it's good. This is
okay.
Good stuff.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Good question.
It was
good. Yeah, you nailed it.
All right. So I remember I talk a lot and I don't let her talk. No, it's fine. I beat her a lot. So she's on very good behavior. And we get to go.
All right, it's more set tonight.
Yeah, very. It's
down.
It's ironic that
it's ironic that you're long and miss the content.
Yeah, there you go. You'll be fine. We'll get you out of here in a few minutes. But I remember reading this or seeing this talk by Darren Hardy, who wrote the book The Compound Effect and the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. And I went to one of his events, and he used to be the editor of Entrepreneur magazine. Then he bought it, and he was telling this story where he's at this hotel and like the service is amazing and blah blah. And he was just so blown away. He like called for the manager and called for the owner, and he's like, "Hey man, I really need to know your secret sauce about training, and are you following the Disney method?" And like the manager was just like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, how are you training these people? This person helped me this way, and this person was so friendly." And this just went on and on and on. And he's getting frustrated. He's like, "I need to know your methodology because I want to write about it in Entrepreneur magazine." And the guy's like, I don't know. I guess we just hire friendly people and then they act friendly. Like this is not rocket
He
science.
hires the right people.
Yeah, right. And I think everybody tried to formalize this and let's have a playbook for friendliness. It's like, I'm not a friendly guy. You can't turn me into a friendly person.
Yeah.
I'll be outgoing. I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, but I'm not inherently friendly.
Yeah.
And so like, obviously you guys are just hiring friendly people.
Yeah, look, if anyone that's ever had employees, sometimes you misread.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems like they're going to want to talk to everybody. And for some people, they don't like to do that.
Yeah.
But you have to. In the hospitality industry, you have to.
I'm going to take a wild guess that I already know the answer to this question, but which one of you deals with like customer complaints or bad Yelp reviews, or like somebody does get a wild hair up their butt because they thought the barbacoa was going to be different than the carne asada or whatever? Who deals with that?
I'm not supposed to. I'm just.
You should tell him about the one.
No, don't tell people about that stuff.
Okay, so Allie, when you deal with disgruntled clients, because you have the better smile and you're more personable, how do you deal with that when a client is upset?
I mean, they're always right. That's
Really?
yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
This is why Allie takes the tell.
Yeah,
But I want to hear Allie's answer
Agree
first. Tell me about the client's origin.
Joe,
Go for
Be
it.
quiet.
all right.
This is the greatest interview ever. All right, tell me about the client always being right, and then I'll find out when you need to stop and say, no, you're wrong.
That is how I feel. He might not always feel the same way, but do you want to go on and look at reviews for a restaurant and see the owner being angry at a bad review? You don't.
Okay.
You don't.
Okay.
Right, that's fair.
I'll give her her time.
Okay, go for it.
And that's bad for the restaurant. So I personally, whatever we can do to make it right, whatever we can do within reason.
Right.
He's shaking his head. I know he doesn't agree with me. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like
Mhm.
I want to make it right. I want to make it better. Let's get them back in most of the time.
Oh, no. You said the customers always. You can't go to most after you said always.
With a caveat.
No, that's still, there's no asterisk. This isn't Barry Bonds. You can't.
Sometimes people are dishonest and you can tell. And,
Just trying to get free stuff.
yes. And that can really bother Tony. I generally just, will just,
Won't bother anyone, right?
sorry about that. Like, oh, so sorry you feel that way when someone's being dishonest.
Yeah.
But if there is a problem,
I had
If-
two always that you're going to be
he
like,
wants
yes,
to talk,
okay.
so let's let him.
Number one, we had an Uber driver come
Oh,
and take like $120 order and said they never picked it up.
yes.
Okay,
So
well, that's wrong.
No, okay. They're not really a customer, I guess. But number two,
The customer's fine.
number two, here's the other one that I'll give you. A guy came in. We had an employee working for us that used to be our next door neighbor. Okay. It's like my daughter.
Oh,
She's 19 years old working in the store one day. And I come in and this cheese ball is leaning on the counter, like schmoozing her up. And he's got to be like 26, 27. And she's just out of high school. She might have been 18.
I think she was.
Yeah, she's just out of high school. So I just walked up. I said, hey, how you doing? Very friendly. Hey, how you doing? Fine. Okay, do you need something? No. This is a grown man. This isn't like,
Right.
a kid, whatever. So I said, all right, we need a counter right here then. And there's nobody in the store, like literally not a soul. And he's like, ugh. So then I got a little irritated. This is why I can't be in the store all the
Be
time.
protective.
I was being very protective, but I
Yeah,
can't
it's like
be in
that
it.
energy.
Yeah, so I actually went over. He was at a bar next door because I didn't want to eat at Me Gusta anymore, and called him out. And yeah, he was going to post it online. And
Cool.
go ahead, tell everybody how big of a jerk off you are because I will reply to it.
Yeah.
So that's obviously that's just a little
That's a serious one-off.
Yeah,
I was talking about issues.
most of the
food.
look, people are amazing most of the time.
Yeah.
not only way
I found dealing with the public, they are amazing.
99.9.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
And if someone comes in and their food isn't right, we put the wrong thing on, we cooked it too much, whatever it is, yes, please.
Yeah.
Let me get you a churro as well.
We would
Like, I'm
never.
sorry.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to go out and have your food not come back the way you wanted it. And you're like, I just spent, $13 on a burrito and this is what I got.
Yeah.
Which some people, that's nothing. They don't care. Other people, it's like, hey, I should get something good. And that's how I feel. And that's how we've always felt.
Yes.
So I'll tell you just a funny story. When we were at the restaurant when you had the car show, and it was like bedlam in there, right?
Yeah.
It's like everybody's coming in for drinks, and so there was a lot going on.
Yes.
And the gal who checked us out gave us whatever number 7 or whatnot.
and one of your staff like runs out with the order number 7, and he looks at our table, and in 99 out of 100 scenarios, that guy drops off the food, and then we open the food and it's not the right food. And then we got to send it back. And I feel kind of weird that I touched somebody else's food. He goes to sit down on the table and he took a breath and he's like, wait a minute. There's no way this amount of food is serving this many people. I don't think I have your order right. What did you guys order? And we're like, oh, we got 2 burritos and 8 tacos and 2 beers and whatever. He's like, yeah, that clearly does not fit in this bag. We made a mistake. Let me run this to the back and we'll figure it out. So he runs it to the back and he comes back. He's like, I'm really sorry. In the rush, we gave 2 people number 7. And so he's like just running around the courtyard trying to find whoever's burritos.
That's where that was that
Had to be Zeus or Jace.
Oh, I think he had glasses, shorter hair, younger boy, super nice guy. And I was just impressed because, you know, in the heat of the moment, 99 times out of 100, they just dropped the bag, and then you got this whole weirdness going on, and like, I don't want to be a jerk, and they made an honest mistake. But he just like, he took the second to think it through and be like, oh, there's 8 people at this table. Clearly they didn't get 2 tacos, like, or 2 burritos or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, that kind of shows that like your staff is on the ball.
Well, not just that. When they start, you know, and hopefully they all remember this and understand this, is we tell them you're going to make mistakes. Yeah. It's okay. You are going to make mistakes, right? It's not whether you are or not. It's what you do though, right? And to not make the same mistake again. So when you put the order down, does it make sense? And if it doesn't, it's okay. And the other thing I always tell people, slow down. Like when it's going 100 miles per hour, slow down.
Well, this guy took that to heart. So whatever you're doing to reinforce that in them.
Would you rather wait and get the right food?
Yeah.
Or get your food and it's wrong and you got it real quick. Now you got to wait again.
Yeah. No,
You know,
totally agree.
Yeah, our staff is amazing, by the way.
So
Amazing.
couple local questions since you guys have been in Henderson for a long time. Other than Me Gusta Tacos, of course, what's some of your favorite restaurants in the area that people got to try out?
Man.
Well, my favorite is Pizza Rock. So
Where is that?
it's in Green Valley Ranch, the casino. I love their pizza. Where else do we like to go?
Pizza Rock. Try
In
that.
Henderson?
In Henderson, yeah. We
Yeah.
don't eat out a ton.
We don't. I mean, I don't know. No, Parsley's not in Henderson, I don't think. There's a real.
I think it is.
Is there?
It's on Somerset
Henderson
and
is
Pecos. I think that's Henderson, isn't it?
Yeah.
What business do you wish was in the district? Like what's missing?
Apple. Get Apple in there.
Oh, an Apple store.
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
The foot traffic for that.
I'm so sick of driving over to the town center.
Yeah.
I had to drive over there just the other day. My wife said, okay, I guess we're making a date out of it and going to Barnesville.
Anthem, Inspirata, Green Valley. Like, we need an Apple store.
Yeah.
That was quick. This is why I like interviewing business owners. You have quick answers. Worst part, best part about living in Henderson?
We've both been here forever. He moved here when he was 3 and he's 51, and I moved here when I was 9 and I'm 45. So I mean, it's really all we've ever known. We also have always lived in Henderson. And
No, I lived on the west side.
So wait, for 40 years, you guys have seen a massive amount.
We should be so much richer. We're morons.
Me too. I started moving up there in the 90s, and if I would have just bought, a couple places in Green Valley, a couple places in Anthem, I would be retired. But
Yeah, no, I lived here when Sunset Road was the end of the world. Like, there was nothing, and to see what it is today, it's amazing. We love Henderson.
we really do love
Yeah.
Henderson. I can't think of anything bad to say about it.
You have the convenience of a major city,
right.
but you're not in a major city. Like there, and to me, there's two. If you've lived here a long time, most people live in Summerlin or Green Valley. It's just, and for us growing up on this side of town, I just love being by the airport. You can get to the strip quick. It's just, I love it.
Yeah.
Summerlin's amazing too, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of great spots. What did I forget to ask you about being a business owner of a restaurant? Because I feel like there's behind the scenes stuff that I don't even know how to ask. Because I've never worked in food services. I scooped ice cream when I was 16 at Thrifty's, which might be the greatest job I've ever had. Because you want to talk about happiness, people are always happy when they
We had ice cream, for sure.
Yeah. So
You would think the same with tacos, but that's not always true.
yeah, that's true. What's something about owning an industry that people don't know? Some insider baseball.
We don't eat the food as much as we thought.
Oh yeah. When the previous owner was training us, I would be like, "Why aren't you getting something to eat?" And he was like, "No, I can't." And we thought we would want to eat it forever.
Yeah, but and that is where some of the creations on the menu have come from. Bored.
Yeah.
Well, not just bored. It's like, okay, I've had the Cali. It's amazing. I love it every time. But, if you're coming once a week sounds fantastic.
Right.
But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, You're there at 9:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. So and our menu is pretty diverse. So you can have something different each day. So I would say that's been interesting that we thought, especially because it's free for you, right? It's your restaurant.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Best part about owning a restaurant, we'll end on that.
Our kids eat for free.
When you put a 20-year-old baseball player
Dude, so much food.
So now, Evan, just go.
Because he walked in and the staff's like, dude, Evan was here 4 times today. Are you sure he's really for free?
Yeah, right.
Yes. They see him coming and they
that's cool, but the people.
Yeah.
The staff, the people that come in. I mean, there is something about when, a staff person and they leave and you can tell like they don't want to, right? Look, we tell our employees, we hope you do great things. It doesn't have to be here. If you grow with us and we do great things together, amazing. But you're probably going to go on and do something, right?
Yeah.
And when they go and you want to see them succeed, like I love that. When you meet people in the restaurant that I've been coming here since it opened and, I just love this place, or they try something new, it's just that connection,
How fulfilling will it be for you when there's some kid that's now older and running some major restaurant group in Vegas and he's like, I got my start at Me Gusta Tacos.
Yeah, it'll be like, I learned what not to do. Right? He's like, I went and learned it. So no, it would be amazing. Any of them, if they do anything. We have one kid that he's going for broadcast journalism, Nathan. We have another kid went to the Air Force. We had one move to Kansas to go to nursing school. Man,
miss all of them.
We do. I mean, they leave and we have kids come home from college and work for us, and you see them for 2 months and they're amazing people. And, so that to me, the people.
Yeah, I can see the pride in your team the way that I would see like somebody have pride in their kids. So that's really cool to see, considering you've only been there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So cool. Everybody head over to the district, check out Me Gusta Tacos. And if Allie and Tony are in there talking about music, because the wall of music, I'm a big fan.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, it's Scott Groves with the Henderson HQ podcast. I hope you got something out of that episode. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. It really helps the show grow. And by the way, if you are a business owner or you know a business owner who has an interesting product, service, or just an interesting backstory, please get in touch with us. Email us at thehendersonhq@gmail.com. We would love to interview you because that's what this show is all about. It's about building community, supporting local, individually owned businesses, and just making Henderson a great place to live. And don't forget, go to hendersonhq.com and make sure you sign up for our newsletter. We send out a once-a-week newsletter, no spam, about the most interesting local businesses, hotspots, restaurants, community events. Thanks for watching the show. Really appreciate you.